October 21st, 2021. Actually, that's what I put on my description. It's not 2021, it's 2024. The year of new beginnings, and welcome to our Mind Heart Mondays. I'm here with a little bit of a teaching tonight, so I'm hoping to see many of you in the chat to share your questions, comments, experiences, and those that are watching the replay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comments. But tonight we are talking about when the chaos grips your mind or the mind. So if you're in a space right now where you're going through a lot mentally, this is going to be the perfect live stream for you. Even if you watch this later, please feel free to ask any questions or share anything. You can always email me at shesrestored@gmail.com if you're going through some stuff and you need some help sorting through. I do one-to-one sessions to help you on your inner healing journey. Hold on a second. So this is exactly what happened last time. I'm getting feedback. So 1 second, y'all. All right, let's see if this works. If not, I'll just reboot it. No worries. Because this is what happened to me last time, y'all. I had feedback from my headphones, so there was a delay in my vocals. So those of you that are in the chat, can you let me know if you're hearing me live? If my lips are matching the sound of my voice? Because if it's caught up, then I'm not going to reboot it. But if it still sounds delayed, then I'm just going to reboot it because I want y'all to hear it as I'm speaking it in present time. So if y'all don't mind, just say hello and let me know if my words match my lips right now. Otherwise, I'm just going to come back on in just a few minutes because I was having some issues with my vocals. So, anybody want to let me know? Can you hear me okay? Okay, let me see. Because I'm really good. I'm just going to have to reboot it, I think. Because I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. And I can't really tell now. Can you guys hear me? Hi, Anastasia. Good to see you. Thank you for the compliment. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you for the compliment. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. So you can hear me just fine? My lips and my sound are in sync? Because they weren't a second ago, so I was about to like log off and reboot it. But if we are good to go, thank you for letting me know. If we're good to go, then I'm just going to continue. Oh, okay. Well, it must be my glasses. Perhaps tonight I look a little bit like a lawyer. That's okay. I don't mind. Tonight, oh, okay. She's a cop in the show. That's neat. I'm not sure who she is, but I'll have to check it out. Tonight we are talking about the chaos of the mind. So, my phone keeps doing that. Tonight we're talking about the chaos of the mind. I'm going to give you some tools if you're struggling right now mentally. There is a lot going on in the world, so it is no wonder if you are feeling overwhelmed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. This is all part of just the times and seasons we are in. And my hope tonight is that I can give you some tools, some guidance, some help. Again, those of you that are really struggling and need some help sorting through some issues, I do one-to-one life coaching. I do mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical healing. I use the arts as modalities and mediums to help us going through this life that we are in. So if you're interested, please feel free to message me, shesrestored@gmail.com, or you can go to my description box and sign up for a session. I have my website link there. And as part of the She's Restored family, I do give you a discount. It's affordable counseling. It's very, very healthy and good for you. Sorry about that. I had to lighten up my screen because it was acting crazy. Oh, you did? That's horrible. I'm sorry that happened to you today. Would you like to share? Would you like to share a little bit more? Or if you would like to speak to me privately and we can walk through that together, I'd be honored to help you. But I'm sorry you had a hard day today. Oh no. No. You're okay. So you're in a space where you're just going through it all, huh? You are not useless. You are priceless. Actually, in fact, you have purpose, you have calling and assignment here on this earth. And it's not a coincidence that you're here, that you found my channel. I would love to sit and talk with you. So if you want to email me, shesrestored@gmail.com, and we can set up a consultation, okay? We can talk together and kind of walk through some of this. I'm available tomorrow. Anytime before 4 o'clock, I'm free, or in the evening. So why don't you go ahead and message me, shesrestored@gmail.com, and then we can talk more about what you're going through. And I hope that tonight I can give you some basic general encouragement, firstly, and also some tools to deal with this battle of the mind. This is something that we're all going through. A lot of it has to do with, again, what's going on in the world, the times that we're in. So you're not alone in this battle, okay? And I want to remind you of that because a lot of times we can feel like we're alone going through it, even if we're not alone. So my encouragement to you is to first and foremost remember that I'm not alone. I'm suffering, others are suffering as well, and I have hope. I have victory, even if I don't feel like I have victory right now. I have victory, and it is mine. Hi, welcome everybody. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there are seasons when we go through, can you all still see me? Because my phone keeps, I don't know why it keeps the light keeps going off on it, but there are seasons when we are walking alone, in terms of, it's a season of, I don't want to say isolation because I don't want to be misleading with that word, but it's a season where I'm needing to take a deep look. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to have to keep doing this because it's just acting up, but it's okay. Yes, depression is something that is a very common battle for us, and seasonal depression. So you suffer from SAD, seasonal affective disorder. that's a real thing. I actually really just experienced this not that long ago, because I moved from Texas, which is south. I'm here in the States, to Iowa, which is way north, because this is where my husband's from. And last year was my first experience with seasonal affective disorder. I've never had that kind of depression before, but it's a real it's a real disorder, and it is something that can be very, very challenging to maneuver through. Yes, winter. Ooh, Delaware. Yes, that is tough, and I think it's just one of those you just need to find like what can I do during this season to keep me in good spirits, to help me feel better, in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, obviously. Yes, and so my heart goes out to you, and I'm keeping you in prayer. And again, please message me. Do not hesitate to message me. I would love to sit with you and help you walk through some of this that you're going through. And that goes for everybody who's here in the chat and everybody watching on the replay. And just remember that some of these things that we're battling and dealing with, it just has to do with the time and space that we're in. This is a very difficult space and season that we're in because so much is happening in the world. There's a convergence that's happening, and I teach more on the spiritual aspect of what's going on actually I just shared a prophetic word yesterday. But feel free to scroll through my teachings and my videos. I do share a lot about, and obviously on Friday nights I will be sharing about these last days and what's going on. But a lot of it is just where we are in terms of time. So we feel the oppression that is over us. We feel the weight that is on us. And if we're not sure, spiritually speaking, how to discern that, it can be very, very dark and overwhelming at times. I'm so sorry, Anastasia, that you're struggling so much. Yes, please, let's meet tomorrow, okay? If you have some time. Or you can leave me your email and I'll reach out to you and see when you'd like to sit and chat for a little bit, okay? I'd be very happy to help you. But yes, yeah, I mean, I think there's a process. Yes, we know to give our cares to the Lord, but also there's a space of understanding that I also must be patient in the waiting. And I think that's where we struggle, because we feel like, okay, Lord, I've already prayed. I've already asked you for what I need. You know what I need. So why am I not hearing the answers? Why am I not getting the direction? But the first thing I'll say to that is He is always leading. He is always giving us direction and wisdom, guidance. And a lot of times it really is a matter of waiting on His timing for His best for me. And when you're in it, and trust me, I'm living some of this out myself. When you're in a space of urgency and a space of I need help now, it is very challenging to be still and wait on the Lord. And this is one of those things you have to discern for yourself. Is God asking me to be still and wait? Is He asking me to move? Is He asking me to make some changes maybe in my life? Is He asking me to, this is just one of those, I have to be still enough to actually sit with myself and know what I need to do, what my next steps are, if that makes sense. So yes, so that's an encouragement for you. And everybody else who's, in the space of like, okay, I'm asking God, but I'm not really seeing what He's showing me or what I'm supposed to know for my next steps. Now, tonight's teaching is, oh, yeah, Yeah, I know that can be kind of challenging when politics are brought up in the church setting. I feel like, I don't know, that can cause a lot of friction and division. But yeah, it happens. It happens, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. But it's good that, you just, keep yourself from allowing it to disturb you so much, and just understand that that's how it is, and that's okay. When chaos grips the mind, I'm going to get into this. Chaos is everything completely in unrest, disturbance, fill in the blank with your synonym. But it is a place of complete dysfunction and unrest. Those are the two words I'm going to use. And when chaos comes against us mentally, this is where we begin to lose our stability and our footing within self. This is why it's so important to protect your mind, to be the gatekeeper of your mind. In fact, I have videos and teachings on this about how your mind is spiritual gold. You need to learn how to protect your mind and how to guard your mind. I have another one on guarding your heart. Because my mind sets the tone for the rest of my inner being. So if my mind is in chaos, and subsequently confusion, because confusion comes from the chaos, then I will not be able to make sense of anything else in my life. In fact, it will pour into my emotional realm, and it'll cause dysfunction and unrest in my emotional realm, and then it'll affect how I make decisions, and then my life will be in complete shambles, and we do not want this. And a lot of us have already experienced this. A lot of us have already lived in a space where I have no control over my thought life. It's just a complete wreck. Yes. And what I would say to you, Anastasia, is that if your mind, and I was actually going to get into this, but if your mind is in a place of, racing thoughts, this is a symptom and evidence of anxiety, and I will say acute anxiety, perhaps even chronic anxiety. That is to say that it's no longer my circumstances make me anxious, it's I'm living in a state of anxiety. I'm in a state of anxiety. And you can get out of it. You can learn how to manage your anxiety. In fact, I teach a class on anxiety on Wednesdays, so that might be a good one for you or any of you that are struggling with it. But which we all are, by the way. Anxiety attacks all of us. But if your mind is here, where you have racing thoughts, your first step is to unplug. And I know this is easier said than done, especially if you're someone who doesn't know how to be still. You run on adrenaline. You're the type of person that's always busy. I always have to be doing stuff, and until I pass out and go to sleep. Some of us are like this, okay? And so it's harder for those of us who are in this space to be still. But you can't be still, or you can't let those thoughts settle until you learn to be still. And there's a whole process to this. But your first step is to be still, to make some time for yourself. What does that look like? So, 5 to 10 minutes of your day, whether it's in the morning. And actually, I would encourage you to actually do this probably twice a day, minimum. But in the morning, before you check your phone, before you turn the TV on, before, whatever it is that you do that connects you to the world, find some time in the morning to just breathe, be still, take a look outside and see what the sunrise is looking like, and just allow yourself to not think about anything else except in that moment, what am I feeling, what am I thinking in this moment. A lot of times I encourage in my sessions journaling. This is a good space for journaling, and especially at the end of your day when you've already gone through what's going to happen that day, because you have a lot that you've absorbed from the day. So taking some time at the end of the day is important so that you can release the day. This is one way that I learn how to, in a sense, cleanse my mind, okay? But unplugging. So another way to unplug, this is something that I've adopted for a long time, and I'm actually coming back to it. For a while I wasn't, but this is taking a day of rest, which is actually a biblical principle, but a Sabbath day. So have a day for yourself, even if it's only half a day, where you don't do anything work related. You don't even allow yourself to think about work, because a lot of times you can still not be working, but your brain is just on overload, okay? But giving yourself some time during the week where I don't stress about what's going on in my life. I just, meditate, go take a walk, go to the park, do something different that helps your mind recenter itself. Okay? That's wonderful. Prayer is beautiful and a wonderful meditation, and obviously a necessary one for our spirit, because we need to have that place where we're receiving. Actually, meditation is interesting because it's really the listening part of prayer, if you think about it. So when I pray, I'm coming to the Lord with my petitions, with my burdens, with my anxieties and stresses. When I meditate, I'm allowing myself to focus on the positive, focus on the good, focus on His scriptures, focus on His promises that He's given to me. And I'm also allowing myself to receive wisdom, guidance, instructions, whatever it is. Okay, so that's beautiful that you meditate. I'm not sure why my phone keeps doing this, but I'm sorry. If you see me hitting my phone, it's because my screen is turning black for some reason while I'm online, which is weird. I think it's the enemy trying to distract me, but I'm not gonna let him. Okay, so thank you. So, chaos and confusion in the mind. It is a very dark space to be. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share some stages, and perhaps the better word would be spaces that you might be in when it comes to mental instability. Okay, this is actually going to help you diagnose for yourself what's behind my mental chaos right now, because you need to know the root of what's going on with you mentally, so that you can learn to combat it and conquer it. Okay. So I'll start with the basic one, which is stress. Stress is part of our daily life. There is always stress. There is always something that we're going through. Okay, some of this is just the fact that we're living in a broken world, and we're broken people who are recovering and healing from things. Now, of course, there is reasons behind the stress. Okay, So some of it is circumstantial, again, what's going on in my life. Some of it is spiritual, because what's going on in the spirit realm, both corporately and personally, okay? And some of this is, you know, some of this could just be because I'm on my healing path and I'm in a space where I'm needing to release. So I have a lot of stress as I'm letting stuff go, okay? With that said, if you are here in the space where you're actually on the inner healing journey, you're getting in touch with your brokenness, you're trying to figure out, you know, what is the root to my mental or emotional sickness and unrest, you're going to have coping that you're maneuvering through, okay? Now, on the toxic end of this, you will have your coping mechanisms that are perhaps unhealthy, toxic, and in some ways probably default, especially if you're not even aware that this is what you're doing, okay? So, and then of course, on the healthy side of this, then you have strategies to combat what you're going through mentally or emotionally. Although tonight we're talking about, you know, the mental realm, but emotionally as well, you can be dealing with, you know, how you're coping. And obviously physically, okay? So some of you might already know what I'm talking about. Perhaps when you get really stressed out or you're going through a lot, you're choosing unhealthy habits to help you battle the stress. And unfortunately, most of the time it compounds the issue, because you not only have the internal struggle, but you now have the physical struggle of and the consequences of you know, choosing how to deal with my pain, deal with my frustrations, deal with my anxiety or depression or whatever it is. So all of this is important for you to gauge and know for yourself, so that you can begin to unravel the unhealthy, the unhealed part of self, and begin to adopt the new self and assimilate into the new me, the healthy me, the restored me, okay? And then another space of this mental instability is oppression. Oppression that comes from outside. So it can be spiritual oppression, and most of the time there is always a spiritual element behind it. So let's say, actually, I'm not going to get into an example just yet, but spiritual oppression will come against you a lot of times, especially while you're going through something, because that is the enemy's tactic. He loves to kick us while we're down, to make us discouraged, and to lose sight of truth, and to lose sight of our faith, and to lose sight of our path that the Lord has given to us. You can also be mentally oppressed from the outside. The enemy can oppress you mentally. You can also be oppressed emotionally from the outside. And of course, then we get into, you know, spiritual warfare. You know, all the familiar spirits, all kinds of spirits that come against us to create chaos and confusion in the mind and in the heart. Okay, any questions for anybody that's in the chat so far? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I see, Anastasia. That's a big life fracture. And I resonate with that, and I understand that. Yeah. I think us having a chat is going to be very good for you, and I think I can definitely help you with some of these areas of pain that you're having, that you're in a space right now where it sounds like you're wanting to reach for that healing that's already yours, and I am ready to do that with you. But yes, especially when it comes to family, it can be very, very challenging to have closure with, because some things are just too hard to process and fathom. But there is hope and there is remedy, and I encourage you to just remember that, okay? Chaos and confusion. This is the devil's playground. He loves to bring chaos into our life and confusion. Now, confusion is a space where it is actually a space of deception, which is profound. It's a space of deception because it causes us to believe in what is not true. It's almost like it's like a tornado in the mind. There is so much debris. I can't see anything. There's a lot of pressure on me. I can't move because I'm stuck in this funnel. And it's the enemy's tactic. He loves to bring confusion to the mind, because when I'm confused, I can't make decisions. And if I can't make decisions, I'm stuck. Or worse, I'm stuck in a toxic pattern that keeps me stuck. And so learning about how number one, even if I'm a victim of my mental confusion because of XYZ, whatever this is for you, I have an escape hatch. I have a way to get out of this mental rut. I just need to figure out for myself, what is my path to get out of this? Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky to explain specifics, because for all of us it's different. Okay, we all have different history, we all have different upbringing, we all have different trauma that we've been through, and a lot of which has created our mental thought forms, our essentially our belief system. Okay, but what I need to discover within myself is, within myself, what am I believing that is not truth? Okay, when it comes to my thoughts, which of my thoughts are actually lies? Okay, I'll give you an example. So I've actually given this example a lot because this is my example. This is what I've lived with and recovered from. And quite truthfully, you know, for some of us, we do have lifelong recovery for certain areas of our life. But let's say I grew up with being told, now I'm going to start here because this is important that you connect all these dots. Let's say I grew up being told that you are worthless. You know, you don't really make good grades at school, you know, you're not very smart, and therefore you're worthless. Like you don't amount to much. Now, let's say I heard this from somebody who is supposed to be taking care of me, a guardian, a parent, somebody that is supposed to be pouring into my mental health. And I heard this at a young age. What do you think that's going to do to my self-image, my self-awareness, my self-actualization? Obviously, it is a derogatory, mean, an unhealthy I don't want to say statement. It's a statement, but it's more than that. It is seeds into my inner being. Okay, words are the start of everything. This is why when you have that revelation that what I speak is life or death, first to myself, because it's coming out of my mouth, but secondly to my hearers. Okay, so the people in my life, what I say to them is going to produce fruit. It's going to produce good, healthy fruit into their life and mine, or it's going to produce death. So it's going to produce cursed fruit in their life or my life. So with that said, if I heard these words growing up, I begin to internalize these words into my self consciousness. And this is, first of all, this is a lie from the pit of hell. Nobody is worthless. Everyone's worth is priceless because it is God-given, it's inherent. And therefore, man's opinion of you cannot counter that, okay? And then you can get into, people that speak these words are speaking from their own brokenness and projecting onto you. But the point that I'm trying to make here is the fact that if I believe this lie about myself, it becomes a part of my belief system, how I think about myself. So if I grew up being told you're no good, you're worthless, I will carry this if it's not uprooted, which usually if you hear it as a kid, it's going to go with you until somebody helps you unlearn it, okay? But you will carry this. You will carry this into how you feel about yourself, and you will carry this in how you make decisions as it pertains to yourself. So I must learn what is truth in my life. What did I believe about myself? And it does come from both my childhood and upbringing and also my present adult life. What do I think about myself? Because what I think about myself determines how I carry myself, okay? So thought, and for those of you that are new to my channel, I teach on the soul realm all the time. And this is how it is. The soul is the mind, the heart, and the will, okay? It is thoughts pouring into, I'm doing it like this so you can visualize it. Thoughts pours into my emotions, pours into my decisions, which pour into my thoughts, it's a circle. It's a continual pattern. So the way to unravel it is to start with, what do I think about myself? Okay? This starts to break that bondage of confusion in your mind. Okay? A lot of us are in this space of chaos in the mind, confusion in the mind, because I've just never learned how to stop ruminating over what's happened to me, or ruminating over what somebody said to me, somebody that I trusted, somebody that I looked up to, somebody that I thought cared about me. They spoke these words to me and they've just stayed with me. And it's just become a part of your identity. So this is a whole other teaching I'm getting into, y'all, but there you go. Extra nuggets of Yeah, that's a good space to be in, actually, in some ways, because you don't allow the opinions of others to sway how you think about yourself. That's actually a very strong space to be in. Excuse me. But for some people, what others say about them or others think about them is everything. Okay, so again, you have to discern for yourself, you know, just like I think, and I have a teaching on all of this actually, but you know, what kind of a person am I? Am I the kind of person that really just, I need the validation of others to feel good about myself? Because if you are, then you're already presenting yourself with the potential to be at the mercy of other people's opinions of you, and therefore it's almost like you won't have stability, because there's always going to be people that like you and people that don't like you, people that connect with you, you know, whatever they call it these days, you know, vibe with you or whatever. I'm old school, y'all, so, but you know what I'm saying. There's some people that, you know, they resonate with you or they don't, but that should never hinder your self-worth, okay, and what you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself. Any questions, y'all, for those of you that are in the chat? Yeah. So the remedy to chaos is the peace of the Lord, which surpasses all understanding. It surpasses the mental realm. It is spiritual peace. This is why some of us can actually be okay even if our life is in shambles. It's not that I am desensitized to my situation, it's that I have spiritual peace that keeps me centered and grounded no matter what I'm going through. And others of us, you might have a lot of money and a nice house and 2 cars, but you have no peace because your spiritual self is in unrest, which again pours into my mental and emotional self. So the remedy to chaos, if you are dealing with the chaos of the mind, is peace in your spirit, first and foremost. That will pour into, that is your anchor to pour into a soundness of mind, which is what we've been given as an inheritance. We just need to learn how to receive it. And the remedy for confusion is soundness in mind. Okay. Again, I've taught this before. I will always teach this. Some of us are feelers. We process life from our heart, our emotional realm. And others of us are thinkers. Life is all up here. Okay, you need to discern for yourself, where do I tend to process my entire life from, mentally or emotionally? Some of us vacillate between the two. But the reason I need to know this for me is so I can know how to battle when I'm in the space of chaos. Okay, I need to know how to combat so that I can conquer. So yeah, that's my teaching for y'all tonight. I hope everyone's doing well. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions, even on the replay. And Anastasia, if you don't mind sharing your email, post it here in the chat and I will message you and we can have our chat tomorrow. Or if you don't want to share your email, that's okay. You can message me at shesrestored@gmail.com. And I look forward to hearing from you so we can, we can start your inner healing journey. And anybody else have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will see you guys back here Friday for sure for our Friday Night Live, which is the last day's live stream. Sometimes I'm coming on here midweek, to share my WOW, which is Words of Wisdom Wednesdays. It's mostly spiritual teachings, so don't hesitate to log on to that live stream if you're looking for some spiritual food, midweek motivation. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? I think that's all. If I have anything else, obviously I will share it, because you know the Lord has been showing me a lot lately. So, but otherwise, I'll see you guys on Friday. You're very welcome. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for watching. And again, for those of you that are interested in classes, I have a class every day of the week for your mental and emotional well-being, spiritual and physical. I'm actually going to start teaching fitness classes, hopefully in the next many months. I'm preparing for that. And then, of course, I have my one-to-one sessions for inner healing journey or creative coaching for those of you that are artists and musicians. And yeah, so feel free to book any of those classes and sessions, and I will see you all next week, or actually this week, Friday. Have a great rest of the night and a great rest of your week. Love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon.